Good afternoon, everyone. Google is incredibly proud to be sponsoring the IAB Mobile Marketplace and generally just to be a supporter of the IAB. It was about 2 years ago. We were at Mobile World Congress. Eric Schmidt threw down the gauntlet and said that Google was going to be a mobile-first company. And since then, things have rapidly iterated at Google. Last week, announced that we're now activating 550,000 Android devices. Mobile ads are one of the fastest growing ad formats at Google. We're really investing in mobile search and in-app advertising through AdMob. And we're continuing to expand mobile YouTube, which is now the second largest mobile video sharing property, period, behind desktop YouTube. So, mobile ads and mobile advertising and the entire ecosystem that we're all talking about today is incredibly important and strategic for us. In Q3 of last year, we announced we're on $1 billion mobile run rate. So it's a significant business and one that we're really excited about. So we've been busy, but we feel like we're just getting started. And to bridge together the session we're just about to have, we have some specific principles in mobile that we try to adhere to. We want to be seamless, we want to be inclusive, and we want to be made for mobile. And I think those are the threads that you're going to hear from the presenters that you're going to hear from shortly. So let me introduce Adam. Adam Broitman is a partner at Adam, help me, Circa US or Circus? Okay, let's go with Circus. Who is going to discuss how Red Bull pushed the boundaries of mobile augmented reality, social gaming, and product integration to excite consumers while bolstering product sales. Please help me welcome Adam.
I should have done that before, I guess. All right, yeah, it is indeed Circus. So I'm glad that I get to be after lunch. So lunch is sitting in all your bellies, and you're a little laid back, and you could listen. So it's better than the end of the day. So I'm glad to be here. I first want to mention that Red Bull is probably one of the coolest marketers that I have ever worked with in my life. And I'm not just saying that because they're a client. And if you really want to look at marketing done right, mobile, social, Red Bull has been doing it right for so long, and they're so great at it. And again, this is not just a plug because I know my client will hear about this later. So let's jump right into this case study here. I actually called it Product Hacking Meets User-Generated Social Gaming. This is who Circus is. I'm going to skip through these, but I figure I'd leave them in here just in case you get a little look at them, in case you don't know who we are. Anyhow, let's jump in. So what was our objective? Well, our objective was to stimulate sales of regular and sugar-free 12 packs of Red Bull. Pretty straightforward, right? And of course, our strategy, a little more complex, create the most badass, innovative gaming experience ever. It's kind of a lofty strategy objective, but I think we really did it. I think we did something that has never been done before, and I think mobile was at the core. But we're going to talk a little bit about the strategy here. But this is actually one of the 12 packs. This game pack was a product integration, as I said, to sell 12 packs of sugar-free and regular Red Bull. And we integrated it right onto the pack here. And you'll see it says you don't just play the game, you create it. So we're bringing the consumer in. With that, I want to talk a little bit about our marketing concept here, something that we call product hacking. All right? And product hacking is available with the help of mobile devices. And product hacking basically is extending the capability of a product to create new and exciting experiences. So if you're a CPG or someone actually has a physical product that is going to be disposed of, well, what can you do to actually expand upon that, augment it, and make it into something else? Because they're just going to throw it away anyway, right? So this idea of product hacking and getting into the product and making something really cool was kind of our strategic approach. And I'm going to show you how we did that. I'm going to roll a little video here. And this is just a 1-minute sizzle reel on the video. So here it goes.
best part about building your track? Is that you can build it anywhere. Hey, that's my hairpin turn. All right, I'm done with my track. To unlock track building, use the front of the Red Bull can. Then start it up. Trace the tops of the cans until you've captured them all. Then press stop. Now it's race time. All right, the Whiplash track is done. Now comes the fun part.
That's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what this product was. But I really want you to understand this notion of product hacking, because it's something that is really ripe to do with the mobile phone. And as you see here, we were actually able to drive people to purchase the product, or they saw it in store, so they buy the actual product. Then we add in the product hack, which is the ability to make a racetrack out of Red Bull cans. I mean, how cool is that, right? You set up your Red Bull cans, whatever you want. You could have up to 100 cans, create this experience, and you own it. You're making the brand something that you're taking ownership over, and you're making this experience your own. We have thousands upon thousands of tracks. I mean, it's actually, my guess was we would have 500 tracks, because it is a little bit difficult to do. Thousands and thousands of tracks. And the same people, different people, new people, actually going back and buying more Red Bull, to the point where I can't even find these 12 packs anymore. And unfortunately, I can't share the sales data, but I can tell you tremendous lift year over year in terms of sales of these 12 packs. So a huge success all around. And of course, you get the product hack and you get people going back for more. They get all hyped up on Red Bull, throw out the cans, and they need more. They want to do it again. They want to create another track. And the beauty is that everything now can be interactive. So I rarely talk about mobile anymore per se. I talk about sensors and nodes on the internet, which is overlaid on everything. The mobile device, or the mobile handset, just happens to be a perfect activation vehicle, which is what we did here. And we're doing some other initiatives now that use the mobile device in order to make all the world interactive. So we actually had this concept here. Well, when we were kind of ideating, we were like, well, how do we make anything interactive? Well, people could lay out their cans, right? They are in possession of your brand, your product. How can we make it something that they own? And these are just early comps. This is not actually the game, but this is kind of us ideating through what can be done. And we were kind of thinking, well, how do we make this into a great user experience? So we decided to make it a social game. And we added a social layer, which for mobile devices is also tremendous. And you'll see in this image here, actually, there's a heads-up display over the ghost cars. And those ghost cars are your friends. So if I race at 2 o'clock, my friend races at 3 o'clock, he'll see my name above my car, and he's actually racing me on my track that I created with my Red Bull cans. So it's this beautiful experience of mobile, social, product integration, all having Red Bull, the brand, at the center of the product, driving sales, because you need the product to do this. So this is just the community that was created around racers. And this one guy, Justin_NC, I don't know, he raced 170 times in the past week. This campaign went live in March. People are addicted to this thing. They're still creating tracks. It blows my mind. We're actually going to be going on a global scale with this, in every language, every country. It's pretty astounding how people have taken this and been creating these tracks. Something that a lot of gamers like to do. So I can't share as many metrics, hard metrics, as I would like. I did mention that sales were phenomenal, and you can call the folks at Red Bull and ask them if they'll share it with you. I doubt it. But it was a huge success in terms of our objective of creating this innovative game and actually moving product. And I can tell you that in addition to that, advertising wasn't launched until weeks out. So we launched this thing, and because of the mere spectacle and what this was, people were posting it beyond just the industry. Lifestyle, all different types of gaming publications. And this here is actually something that I clipped and I posted a long time ago. Well, on the right there, you see, just your standard advertising that you pay for, good advertising. But when you are the content, when you have something this novel and you're getting people to post your video everywhere, that to me is great advertising, the best kind of advertising. And this is actually, I clipped it when we were number 28 in the App Store. We got up to number 13. We lived there for a while. All the while, I did not see one brand there. So that was a nice thing. We were up there with the Groupons of the world, and we stayed there for quite a long time. No brands in the entire time, and people were loving this. And of course, the trades loved it. And there's some quotes that I really love here. Sure, it may just be an elaborate scheme to get you to buy more Red Bull, but it's fairly an ingenious one. The technology is impressive, but what I find more impressive from a marketing perspective is that the app is free, so I forgot to mention that, but you actually have to buy the product in order to really get the full breadth of what this application does. So you were able to play the game and be part of the community, but if you really wanted this experience, you had to buy Red Bull. Imagine that, advertising that sells stuff. So I think we got a lot of respect from the gaming and tech communities. Engadget, NextWeb, they don't give out compliments very easily, and I've created things that they have not liked, and it hurts your feelings when Engadget kind of comes down on you. But we did really well here with the press. So a couple of things that we learned here. I don't want to just talk about the technical ends in terms of what we learned, but this is something that my team, my agency dreamed up. At the onset, we actually told the clients at Red Bull, and this is why I think they're so great at marketing, we told them, we don't know if this is even possible. It's just theoretically doable. We didn't actually know we could do this. So there was an R&D period, but it's really tough to price and create a timeline and make everyone happy and set expectations because it was constant iteration on how do we make the best user experience. We were creating a product here. And that's why I love the mobile device and post-PC devices, is that you're actually creating products as marketing. And with that, it's really difficult to predict these things and to operate within an advertising ecosystem. So you got to really set expectations and definitely leave as much wiggle room. And if you're going on pack, go as far out as you can, because I had hair before we actually did this thing. And leading up to the pack, I actually got a call, oh, we're going to launch, the packs are actually ready. They're going to be on shelves in 2 weeks. And I was like, no, they're not. I was like, well, they're already shipped, so there's nothing we could do. So we have to work a lot faster. And then the App Store, I'm sure many of you, because we are talking about mobile and you're dealing with this, but the App Store commenters could be brutal. They don't care if it's an experimental technology or if you're pushing the boundaries. If something doesn't work, they are going to kill you, or at least they're going to say that, and they're going to be aimed at the brand itself. And this particular initiative worked best on the iPhone 4, and we failed to actually limit it, and we had it on all devices. And we had some pretty upset people that were going after the throat of Red Bull. I mean, commenters can be really brutal, as I'm sure you all know, and it's an unmoderated environment, so there's really very little you can do. So make sure that you're getting it on the right devices. And then finally, freemium is a sales strategy that we may all know for apps, where you buy services, goods or services, you get goods or services for free, and then you get upsold. Well, as a marketing strategy, it worked great because we got this app in the hands of people, and then there was a message that, well, now you got to go buy product to actually activate the entirety of the experience. So it was something that we learned in terms of marketing strategy in general, was using freemium, something very big with startups and products, and we really think of this as a product type initiative. So with a parting thought, the way that we look at the mobile space, the way we look at tablets, handheld devices, and everything else that's coming, we don't talk about them as mobile anymore, and it's quite ironic because this is a mobile summit, but we do take Steve Jobs' lead and we think about them as post-PC devices. Devices that have multiple sensors, that have computer vision. I mean, how amazing is that this device can actually look at a can and build a track? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. They have visual sensors, auditory sensors with things like Shazam and the different types of inputs you can put in and gather data. Now, with this computer vision, we were actually able to count how many cans were scanned. So there are new metrics here for us using all of these devices, but it's not about the device, it's about the space that the device fits in the entire world in terms of the ecosystem, right? Because this device can do all different types of things, and you need to think about the sensors of this device. Think about it as a living, someone earlier, I believe it was the gentleman from BBDO said, you know, we touch this in the morning before we touch our lover. Well, it is like a living device when you consider its senses and its ability in the entire world around it. So with that, if anyone has any questions, we have 1 minute, 27 seconds left. I think I did pretty good on time. Question? Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, actually, in my excitement, I forgot that one. But asking people or requiring people, well, two things. Requiring people to have an internet connection in the US is not a good idea. It will piss people off. It did, and that was what we had first, because the game is better when it's social. And we just assume, well, internet connection, Facebook Connect, right? It's an assumption a lot of people might make, except for those who have tried to force people to log in with Facebook, but people hated it. It was a privacy, we were invading their privacy, and it was a terrible, we were awful people for doing that. But we wanted to make the game better, and it's better with your friends. So have a backup for Facebook Connect is the learning there, even though it might be the best user experience.
What was the situation with the ownership of the intellectual property? Were you able to retain that and reuse it? Does the client own it? How does that work?
That is a great question. In this instance, all invention was given to the client, to Red Bull, in terms of using this technology in this way. The augmented reality libraries and underlying base technology came from a company called Mateo. They, of course, own the computer vision's underlying software. The marketing IP and the IP in this game belongs to Red Bull. And that's it. Thank you very much.